Yeah, I got done with work today, and I was going to pour myself a whiskey, and I decided, no, you know what? I'm just going to pour myself a rum and Coke because I haven't had a rum and Coke in a while. And I drink whiskey all the time. And I pour maybe, I don't know, 2 fingers and put rum in there and put Coke in there. And there it was. But then 10 minutes later, it's like, wow, it's hitting me pretty hard. And I was like, this is not normal. I mean, I drink a lot, and drinking rum, and this shouldn't be hitting me like this. So I texted Rain and I said, what's with rum? He says, oh yeah, it's got a lot of sugar and it hits you faster. It's like, well, that explains why I'm a little tipsy right now.
There you go.
There you go.
And that reminds me. You want to know what that reminds me of?
What does that remind you of, Taebyn?
So 2 nuns, a penguin, a man with a parrot on his shoulder, and a giraffe walk into a bar. The bartender says, what is this? Some kind of joke?
Okay, indeed it is. I want to tell you a story about. I was at I've been traveling the last couple of weeks, and that's why I was not here last week, and you had a special guest, and we'll talk about that later. But I'm at the airport coming home Monday afternoon, and of course, you go through TSA, and everybody's got their stuff in the baskets and the bins, and it goes through the little radar detectors and whatever. So, and then you gather up all your stuff, and you go to the bench, and you sit down, and you put your stuff back on, right? So I'm sitting there, and this guy's sitting there next to me, and this phone rings, and sitting next to him on the phone. So he just pushes over and pushes speakerphone because he's trying to put his shoes on and his stuff like that. And it's a woman on there. He says hello, and she says, "Hi, honey, are you at the airport?" He says, "Yes, I am." So she says, "Well, I'm at the shops and I found this beautiful leather coat. It's only $2,000. Is it okay if I buy it?" And he says, "Sure, go ahead if you like it that much." She says, "Well, I also stopped by at the Lexus dealership and saw a new model, and one I really liked." And he says, "Well, how much?" She says, "Well, it's $95,000. And he says, "Well, go ahead for that price. Get it all the options. You may as well just go ahead and buy it." And she's like, "Go all out." And she's like, "Oh, great! One more thing. I just talked to Janie and found out the house I wanted last year is back on the market. They're asking $1.5 million for it." And he says, "Well, go ahead and make an offer for $1.5 million. I'm sure they'll take it. And if not, we can go at least another $80,000 because it's really worth it and you want it." And she says, "Okay, I love you so much, honey. See you when you get home." He says, "Bye, love you too." He hung up the phone and stood up to walk away. And I said, "Hey, you forgot your phone." He says, "That's not my phone."
Yeah. Oh, nice. That is awesome.
So I suppose we should get our show on the road since we're already off the rails. This is Barely Furcasting, featuring Taebyn and Injured Nerves audio production. So, Moobarkfluff salutations and greetings, and hello to all our listeners of the Podiverse. And hello. I am Barely Normal, a co-host who is back from blowing up fireworks. I didn't make a rhyme this week.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, it's like, oh well. And wince me once again is Taebyn.
Woo
Woo marriage. That flufftacular Taebyn. How the fluff are you, Taebyn?
Hi, I am a fluff, and it's so good to see you back on your journey to the Arizona, I believe it was?
Yes, Arizona.
Yeah, and so tell us, Mr. Barely, what did you do in Arizona? It was fun and exciting.
I blew stuff up.
Yeah, that's fun and exciting.
That's fun and exciting. I was there for a pyrotechnician convention.
Nice.
So, yeah. And we had some huge fireworks. It's kind of like a FurCon, but with explosions. FurCons would be even better if we had explosions, but they never have FurCons where I can give them explosions. We have panels, we have gatherings, we make fireworks, we make other pyro devices. I got to shoot a flamethrower. That was exciting.
I saw that. That's wow. Crazy
Yeah,
time.
that was a big flamethrower.
Yeah, that's crazy times.
It's very warm behind the flamethrower, by the way.
I would think so.
Yeah, it is. Very, very warm. It's like, wow, that's really warm. Everybody asked me when I get back, it's like, well, did anybody have any injuries? Because you have lots of explosions. And I'm sad to report that there were, in fact, some injuries this year.
Oh,
is
that normal?
Not usually. I mean, this year, the injuries didn't take place at the fireworks where we shoot out the fireworks.
Oh,
like many other conventions, people go to dinner afterwards, and they have an event called Afterglow, which is where people drink and eat. And they get a little, shall we say, out of hand sometimes.
Out of posy.
out of Causey. And during the after hours gathering, a fight broke out, and several of the con goers got hurt. They all had short fuses, and it was an explosive fight. But seriously, there was a fight the next day. People were coming to the panels, and they're like, one guy was in a sling, another had a bandage around his head, and
oh my,
like,
wow.
What happened? I wonder what happened.
And as funny, it wasn't actually because of the fireworks and flamethrowers and stuff. It's just because the posse was
people's
off.
Stupidity and drunkenness. Yeah. So.
Oh my cow.
So what have you been up to this last week? Anything fun and exciting?
I
guess
don't
that's a no.
think so. I don't think so. I guess I think no. Just doing the same old things and fluffing around and doing the stuff. I mean, it's not too. I'm not too. You're the exciting one. I am just.
Well, I was excited. Yeah. Well, and that's going to bring us to our weekly challenge. I want our folks, our furs, and our friends to send me a Telegram message or an email telling me about their very first fireworks memory. Everybody has a fireworks memory. Mm-hmm. What's your very first? What's the very first fireworks you ever remember seeing?
The snake.
The snake.
That's probably my favorite and the one I remember from. I mean, I've seen like fireworks and stuff, but like if I try and think back to an early pup memory, so obviously 3 or 4 years ago, it has to do with a snake. That's all. That
little black snake. Yeah. So
I'm very exciting.
Wow. Did you see the South Park episode with the big, huge snake that they lit?
I just happened when I said that, I just had a flashback to, oh yeah, they had the South Park episode. Yeah, that was a good episode. Good episode.
Like, that's wiped out the town. But my very first fireworks memory was, I think I was like 8 or 9. And of course, the fireworks on the 4th of July take place late at night, 10:30, 11 o'clock at night.
They do.
Because it's dark. And my parents always wanted us to be rested so that we could stay up late. Because, bedtime when you're 8, 9 years old is
like
8, 9 o'clock.
8 o'clock, yeah.
Yeah. And so they would make us take a nap in the afternoon.
So that
you be well rested.
That's pretty cool. Make you rested so that you can stay up and see all the fireworks. That's pretty cool.
Sure, right. Have you ever tried to put a 9-year-old to bed at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on July 4th?
That probably actually doesn't go over.
That doesn't go over well at all. No. It's like I got yelled at so many times. Just lay there and rest. I can't. I'm excited. All my friends are out.
I'm a 9-year-old. Come on.
Right. Yeah.
Did you actually stay up late then, or did you like get all tuckered out before?
Oh no, I always stayed up late. I always stayed up late, but Mom would always say, "You're just gonna be grumpy if you stay up late without a nap." And I'm like, "Okay."
It's for you to deal with. I don't have to deal with it. I mean, come on.
Right. I don't care if I'm grumpy. I can be a little hellion 9-year-old.
It's not my problem. It's yours. So come on.
But anyway, so I understand. I don't know why my voice is going up and Oh, I want to say something about the group that I was with was the Western Pyrotechnics Association, and it was at their annual, what they call Winter Blast.
Nice.
It always takes place on President's Day weekend. But when they do the big shows in the evening, they have a big show Thursday night, Friday night, Saturday night, Sunday night. And it's a professional organization, but the fireworks, except for the ending show, which is made by professionals, all the rest are made by the members.
Cool.
And so they may work properly. They may not work properly.
True.
They may launch out and just kind of
but that was like a snake right there.
You're right. Yeah. And so the city of Lake Havasu charges the citizens to come and watch the show and charges them for parking and all other kind of stuff. They always have like a soundtrack running to keep people entertained while they're waiting for the shows. And every year, they would have like little fake advertisements and fake this and fake that. And it was the same ones every year. This was the first year in 8 years that they switched it up.
Good for them.
They made new fake ads. They made new things. And I was so excited because I was not looking forward to it. Yeah. They had a whole year. They had a year to do it because they didn't have the con last year because of COVID. Yeah. So they had a chance to make things better. And thank you, better? Western Pyrotechnician. Oh, it was much better.
Nice.
Much better. Yeah. Yeah. So
it's like, wow, a new fake ad. Neat.
Yeah. Well, they were funny. They were very funny. And I'm going to take some of that from the little nuggets and make some of our own like that. Anyway.
Cool.
There you are. I understand you have a song.
I don't know if you'd really call it a song, but it's something that just came to my mind this morning. And so I thought I would share it with all you fine furs. And there's 3 verses. And are you ready? It goes like this.
Uh-huh.
It goes, let me remember. Okay, now I remember. Okay. Kitty in the fluff, kitty in the fluff, kitty in the kitty in the kitty in the fluff, puppy in the fluff, puppy in the fluff, puppy in the puppy and the puppy in the fluff, kitty in the moo, kitty in the moo, kitty in the kitty and the kitty in the moo. And that's how it goes. And then I started thinking about, can I add a 4th verse of the thing that came to mind was, and it turns out it doesn't work, but I tried camel in the sand, and it doesn't really work. Camel in the sand, camel in the sand, camel in the camel in the camel in the sand. It just doesn't work right or anything.
It just doesn't work right.
But I like that second verse, but maybe that's because I am a pup, and so maybe I'm biased, but puppy in the fluff, puppy in the fluff.
Maybe.
Anyway, but
Wallaby
that's
in the sock.
That was the quote unquote song that just came to me this morning.
Okay. So like Wallaby in the sock, Wallaby in the sock, Wallaby in the sock.
Yeah.
There you go.
Got our new 4th verse. There you go.
There you go. So.
Oh my cow.
What else?
Well, it so happens I have a little short story.
Is it under 5 feet?
It's even littler than that. It's
wow. Okay.
Well,
right.
I mean, so you listen to it and then you tell me exactly how many feet.
How many feet it is? How many feet it should be under?
Maybe
how many feet it should be under the ground?
Yeah. Pretty much. At least 6. So Bob, will say his name is, he was good at not video game shows. What are they called? Game shows. Just game shows.
Just game shows.
Game shows.
Yeah.
And so he got on his favorite game show, actually, and made it through to the final round. And he was really, really excited about this, of course. And the MC says, okay, so Bob, this is exciting. If you answer this next question correctly, you will win $5 million.
$5 million.
Amazing.
That's a lot of million.
That's like a lot of millions. So he says, so this is a 2-part question on American history. And typically the second half of the problem is of the question is easier, but I'll let you choose what you want to do first. You want to answer the first part of the question or the second part of the question? And Bob, well, he doesn't want to take too many chances and get too, he starts out easy. So he's like, okay, well, to be safe, I'm just going to start with the second part. The MC says, okay. Bob, here is your question. And in what year did it happen?
Yeah.
That's my short story for this week.
Yeah. What happened? What year did it happen? I don't know.
He lost. It was so easy, though. It was easy to lose.
1965. No? Oh,
no. Sorry. Good guess. Good guess. It was 1492.
1492.
When Columbus sailed the Puppy Moo.
The Puppy Blue. And he discovered, quote unquote, America. Not that it was not there before he discovered it.
All of a sudden, it's come into existence. Look at me. I created a continent.
I know. It's like I was in the parking lot the other day and I discovered a Lexus, so I took it. It was just there. It was just there. I discovered it. I didn't steal it. I discovered it.
It was mine. I'm the one that discovered it.
Right. Absolutely. Yes. I claimed it for King Ferdinand. This Lexus is now for King Ferdinand. No,
that's not the way things work. I don't even know what's happening.
That's the way things worked in the 15th century, right? You found something. It's mine. Thank you. I don't know.
Ferdinand. The librarian can have it.
Or Ferdinand the Cow. Wasn't there a book called Ferdinand the Cow or something like that? Or
there was Ferdinand.
Or Ferdinand the Bull or something like that.
Bull. I think it was Bull. Yeah.
Ferdinand the Bull.
Right.
Yes. Yeah.
We should. Okay, so pass today for next time. We'll confirm or find out more about that.
Find out more about Ferdinand the Bull. Speaking of, a friend of mine was talking to me the other day, and he watched a video.
Really? Is it often that a friend talks to you?
Yes. Very, very often. But he was watching a video of a cow. And this cow learned how to play fetch and
cool.
Wanted and it was very engaging and everything. And he found it very sad that this cow was going to be a hamburger at some point because clearly the cow was learning to be social and, so.
There should be exceptions for things like that. Like, no, This one's like intelligent enough to like be actually social. We can send you to the cocktail party tomorrow, Mr. Cow.
Right.
And we'll take Fred over here to be the burger instead. How's that?
Right. So you throw a ball, and whichever cow doesn't go chase it, that's the one that becomes dinner.
That's the one that goes to the restaurant, yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense. Good little test there, yeah. So...
Little cow test.
So...
Yes.
That must bring us to... The past That's a new thing. I've never done that before.
Okay.
I've never introduced the past today, and I just did. I'm so proud of myself.
Ooh, you introduced the past today.
I introduced it to my new friend Alexis, which I discovered in the parking lot, and now they're good friends.
Yes.
And we're having a little party with the social cow, and we're getting along just great, all of us.
The social cow, not a socialist, but a social cow.
Exactly.
And the socialist is the people that you invite to your party, right? The socialist.
It is.
So the past today, Mr. Taebyn, I hear you had a great recording session last week. I mean, you had a guest host, a special visit from Grubbs Grizzly. You had a 5-minute furs, and you had Transformation Station. You had a long, long night.
Busy pup right here. Yeah, it was. There was a lot of things going on. Yes, so for any fur that missed last week's episode, well, barely is. He was talking. He was gone. So I had a guest host, Path Hyena, previous con chair for TFF, came on and was my. He said some really, really nice things about me at the end of the show. I was like, I cried. It's just that's really. Anyway, so Path, if you listen to this, thanks again. I don't deserve such kind words, but I wag and hug you tight with pausies. No, it was it was fun. We had a good time.
All right, cool. Any other past today that you want to talk about?
I have one.
Okay.
What if I won?
Have one. I have one too.
I have 1, 2, 3.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Let me tell you something that you didn't win. A year's supply of rice roni the San Francisco treat. And that's not all. You made yourself look like a jerk in front of your family for generations to come. You don't get to come back tomorrow. You don't even get a lousy copy of our home game. You're a complete loser! Don't know what I was thinking about. I guess it just wasn't my night. Okay, anyway. Do you know what what that's from?
That's the song "I Lost on Jeopardy" by Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah, very good, very good. You win. You won. That's good.
I win. Yay.
No, but that's. Oh yeah. Wait, my past today. From season 2. So this season, episode 41, in the math section, I talked about weighing tiles and tilings, and that was very interesting and stuff. And so it's only a joke to me, but you might get it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay. But I missed the obvious joke, so I thought I would bring it back here.
Yes.
So the Wang tiles were invented in 1961 by Mr. Hao Wang. And so the obvious joke to me is, Hao Wang?
Yes.
See what I did there? He said,
tile.
So if you got what just happened, you're amazing, because that was a way throwback from previous episode, probably season 1 or something.
No,
if you do know what we were talking about right there, write us in and say, "Oh yeah, I recognize that." I have no life because I've apparently been listening to the show for a long time.
The BFFT for a long time, as long as they've been making it, I've been listening to it. So good for you.
So good for you. Also sad for you, but thank you.
Thank you very much. Well,
but yes, that's my past today.
Well, Wang, his brother. This is not a joke. It sounds like it's a joke, but his brother.
It sounds like it's a joke. I don't know if I believe
his
it
brother.
It wasn't his phone.
No, it wasn't his phone. That's not my phone. His brother was actually made computers. It was Wang Computers, and I know this because my father worked for them for like 10 years.
Really?
And yeah,
this is the same Hao Wang.
His brother.
His brother, anyway. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, I don't know his first name, but I remember when you mentioned it, I looked it up, and of course Wang Computers came up, and then the family tree popped up, and Hao was in there, and his brother was in there. So yeah, his brother was famous for making computers, and
his brother's brother, which was him, was famous for making tiles, I guess. So wow, that's really cool. It's kind of like when you your grandfather and the ship.
Yes.
It's kind of like you like I say things and you just happen to be a part of it or something. I don't know.
Somehow,
amazing.
yeah. Well, and the funny thing is, Wang, when he developed the computer, he developed his own operating language, which of course never caught on.
Oh,
because, well, I mean, he tried.
Yeah.
He tried, and they had lots of computers and they had lots of stuff, and the operating language was different than DOS and different than Apple.
Windows and everything.
Didn't have the full backing of the billionaires to make it work.
Oh,
so
poor Mr. Wang.
Poor Mr. Wang. And in fact, the state of Oregon had Wang computers as their system for a long time.
Oh, really?
And and they were the only one of the few states that tried to embrace it. And it just did not go over well.
Well, good for us for trying. So that was like late 60s or 70s or something?
So it would have been actually late 70s, early 80s.
Late 70s. Okay.
Yeah, because we were living in Oregon at that time, and we moved here in 1977.
Okay.
My birth certificate's hanging out. I apologize for everybody. Yes, I'm a gray muzzle, just in case
you
thought I was somebody younger.
Knew by now.
Right, yeah. If you don't know that I'm a gray muzzle by now, right? Yeah, it's like, come on. But anyway. And then the other pass today is I asked several weeks ago for people to send us pictures of eating food they'd never tried before. And on the BFFT chat, I did post from just the other night when I was in Las Vegas. We were there for one night only in Las Vegas. It's barely normal. One night only at the Paris Hotel. But anyway, we went to eat at the Eiffel Tower restaurant, and there was three of us. Would you like to guess how much dinner cost for three of us at the Eiffel Tower restaurant in Las Vegas?
I'm going to guess 100, but I'm guessing that's too low.
That's way too low. So all three of us, the cost for dinner for all three of us was $755.
Holy pup!
Not counting tip.
The tip was not $20.
No, we made it an even $1,000 by the time we were done. We just split it three ways and made it an even $1,000 for dinner.
So was it was it good dinner? I hope.
It was okay.
Oh no, I know. But hey, you got to spend $1,000 at the Eiffel Tower in Las Vegas. We got to, so that's
between
cool.
The three of us. Yeah. So, but
not everyone can say that.
Not everyone can. Well, everybody in that restaurant could say it clearly, but so I mean, we had 2 bottles of wine. Mm-hmm. We had appetizers that consisted of foie gras. I don't know if you ever had foie gras or not.
I have not.
Yeah, it's and that was one of the foods that I tried that was like bleh. I didn't like it.
Okay, it reminds me of a red panda because but it's not a red panda.
It's foie gras, FOIGRAS. So if you're interested in looking it up, foie gras, yes, yeah. And then we had escargot. And that
escargot.
And I posted a picture of me
when you go down the highway and you're in a helicopter and you're looking, and for whatever reason, all the cars have like letters written on them. At one point, you get to a point in the alphabet when you can actually say, "Look at that escargot."
Yes, it moves very slowly.
Very slow. It's like it holds up the XYZ cars. A lot.
So
anyway,
so I tried escargot. I tried escargot, and I posted a picture of I posted a video of that on the BFFT chat. And then I tried caviar for the first time. And I posted that on the BFFT chat. There's a little video of me eating the caviar and eating the escargot.
You did your own challenge.
I did my own challenge. Yes, indeed. Escargot, okay. Caviar, okay. I don't know that I could afford either of them ever again.
Especially now.
Yeah. I mean, the caviar, well, first of all, they bring out this caviar in a bowl that was probably 1.5 feet across.
Oh, wow.
Full of ice.
Yeah.
And then in the center was this little 2-inch disc of caviar.
Really got to keep that cold. Got to keep
it cold. Right. And I'm like,
okay.
And my first thought was when they set it down, I was like, why did they bring it out in rice? And my buddies are like, no, that's ice.
That's ice. Oh, okay. It's like we're not in Japan. You don't.
Yeah.
If we were in Japan, it would be sitting on a bowl of rice. But no, we're here in Las Vegas.
So I would eat it again. But yeah, that was a very expensive, very fun dinner. Probably won't go there again. But
it was a good experience.
You got to do it once.
So,
yeah. I mean, I saved my pennies for a year and a half now. Well, I mean, it's been 2 years since we've been there, so I've had my budget for that, for a while. So there you go.
Okay.
All right.
Oh, that was exciting.
Woof. That was exciting. Now, mailbag.
Yes.
I noticed you posted in the BFFT chat.
Actually, I haven't put it in the chat yet.
Oh, you haven't?
No, that was sent just directly to you.
You should put that in the chat right now.
Right now? Okay.
Right now.
I will. Give me a second.
So it'll be a week before you hear this, everybody, but he's putting it in the chat right now. But it's a picture that he commissioned of a wallaby wearing a sock. And the wallaby is deliciously cute, and he's confused as to why he's wearing a sock.
But then I'm there. But then I'm there saying, no, it looks great. So
yeah, it's a great little cartoon. I love it. And I'll put it in the show notes, and I'll put it on YouTube. So if you don't see it in our chat, you'll see it there.
She did an amazing. So when I commissioned her, so shout out to the Tater. Tater's
wonderful.
Yep. We've talked about the Tater before. We've had her as a guest.
Had her on the show. Yep.
And no, she's just great, and just a great fur, really, really nice. But when I commissioned her for it, I said, so I'd like to commission you for an art of a wallaby wearing a sock, just one sock. And she immediately just said, lol, a wallaby and a sock. She loved that idea. Well, what do you want it to do? And it's like, I'm leaving it all up to you. I guess probably put me in there somewhere doing something. And she had an initial idea that I was helping Wallaby put the sock on, which was very nice. But then she came back a few days later and said, I've had a change of it. I had a new idea. And that's when she gave me this idea and finished it up today. But yeah, no, it turned out really great. And she's wonderful. I'm going to see if I can get Paco Panda next to do his rendition of Wallaby wearing one sock with me doing something, and I'll be excited to see what he comes up with.
Well, when you do that, you should ask him to do it with you and I sitting at the podcasting desk with the Wallaby on the desk, like between the microphones, putting on
with
the
sock. Okay, yeah.
A sock.
Okay,
yeah.
There you go. I like it. Oh, yeah, no, I'm glad I didn't.
Sock. Yeah,
commission.
Because he knows how to draw both of us. So
he does. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of fun. All right. Have you got anything else for the mailbag? Anything else come in for you? I mean, I'm kind of coming into this recording a little on the back end because I have no idea what you guys talked about last week.
Oh.
So I'm flying blind here.
Well, you missed like a lot of very, very important things. Let me tell you.
Well, I know. I'll tell you what, I know because Rain is editing it, and he was complaining to me at how long it is. So everybody that knows, by now, you've already listened to it, and it's over 2 hours.
Yeah.
God bless you for listening. God bless you. Yeah. That's
if you actually listen to the whole
for.
thing, if you actually listen to the whole thing, write us in about us and tell us what you think, I guess. But yeah, no, right. I don't have any other mailbag.
All right. Well, this episode drops on March 5th, which is the beginning of March. So we have some upcoming birthdays for March. We have Earl Grey, the Irish Wolfhound, is coming up the very first week of March. Happy birthday to Earl Grey.
Happy birthday, Mr. Wolfhound.
Yes. Right. We have Taiga Caribou.
Happy
having
birthday,
a birthday
Taiga.
in birth. Yeah. We have Padzian, which is the husband of our very own Ziggy, coming up on March 5th when this episode drops. So happy birthday, Padzian.
Yeah. Happy birthday, Padzian. Yes, happy birthday, all you furs. And
happy birthday.
You furs, if you have a birthday coming up in some month, in a few, well, like the next
Whenever
month.
you have a birthday coming up, just let us know.
We will
announce it on the podcast.
And we'll let you know and say happy birthday to you on the show. You can
happy
just go
birthday.
to... I guess Oh, we should do that. Let me first say yes.
Happy
we should sing that together. But hold on, because we have to sing it. Look at me. I'm pointing. Where am I pointing?
Where are you pointing? I don't know. Nobody can see you pointing.
I know. I mean, I'm not.
What's your point, Taebyn? What's your point?
I don't have any.
You're not a pointer.
I'm not. I'm a collie. I mean, come on. What was I saying?
I have no idea. What were you talking about, Taebyn?
Oh, yeah, so a little bit of... Oh, I have no idea, and thanks for asking. So
yes.
I guess a little bit of shout-out to the BFFT chat, but if you come into the BFFT Telegram chat, you can tell us that you have a birthday, and we'll shout it out on the show. So for the March birthdays that we have so far, we can still say happy birthday to you if you still have one coming up in the month.
Of course. But absolutely. So
let's sing happy birthday to these furs. Are you ready, Barely?
I'm ready. All right.
1, 2, 3.
Happy
we haven't practiced this. Birthday.
No, we haven't. Day to you.
Happy
birthday.
We're so coordinated.
to you. Happy birthday to the furries.
Furries are all great. The Wolfhound. First week of March. No, that's part of the show notes. No, I mean early grade. Earl Grey, the Irish Wolfhound. Taking care of Patsy. Yeah. Happy
birthday to you.
That was so elegant and amazing.
Oh God, that was so bad. But what else could we be? Right. Yes. Oh my cow! Indeed. So let's move on. Let's move on to media. Let's just get this. Yeah. So I have finished watching Succession on HBO, and if you have not watched Succession, you really, really should. I have to say,
you're really liking it.
Yeah, I really liked it, and of course, the season is over. I watched season 3, and it was done. But now, season 4, they're not going to start filming until June of this year. Oh. It's not going to be released until October of 2022. So
but they're having one though.
Yes, yeah. They actually renewed it for season 4 and 5.
Oh, cool. Well, that's good anyway.
That's good. I know I have 2 more seasons, but it's just like and they ended the last episode of season 3, and I'm thinking, well, now what? Because it was just like they ended every other episode, and I'm thinking, oh, well, we'll just go on to the next episode. I'm like, there's click. There's no more.
No, one of those. I hate that. Yeah,
there's no more. So, and I have not found a character on that show that I like. I hate them all.
It's still. I remember last time you talked about it. Okay. No new characters have come on that maybe new characters, but you still hate them all. Okay.
Hate them. No new characters, but I still hate them all. But you love to hate them. That's what that show is. You just love to hate these characters.
That's what it's about. Okay, cool.
Yeah.
I imagine it probably helps going into the show, realizing that, just knowing that, like, okay, don't plan on even caring about any one of these characters, but you're going to love them and hate them at the same time.
Right. So the very best scene that I loved in all of the episodes was in season 1, episode 3. Way back. And they're trying to teach this. So it's about this family that's a media mogul. They have lots of bazillions of dollars. Bazillions. And not Brazilians, which is a different type of thing.
They don't have the Brazilians. That's a whole different. That's a spin-off of the show.
It's a different strain of money, yes. But so they're trying to teach this one guy how to be rich because now he's in the inner circle, and they're telling him his name is Greg. They're like, Greg, you need to know how to be rich. You need to know how to act to be rich. So they take him to a club. A very exclusive club, and then they take him to one of the VIP lounges, which is behind a wall where you watch the club through glass. And he's like, so we paid money to come to a club, and then we sit in a room that's not part of the club. And they're like, yes, that's what rich people do.
I mean, I've seen that happen. Yeah, no, it's like a thing.
So we go to a room that's not in the club, that's part of the club, and we can watch the club, and we pay for this?
But we're not really part of it.
Yes, Greg, that's what being rich is all about. You want to be at the club, but not be at the club.
It's a very zen thing, you see. Mm-hmm. Nice.
And then on the airplane, I watched 2 episodes of Hollywood on Netflix. I don't know if you've heard of that movie or that show or not, but it's pretty good. I was trying to think of things to watch on the airplane on my trip, and that was one of them. I was like, oh, I'll watch that. And it's really good. If you are a fan of, or were a fan of Glee back in the day.
Yeah.
Remember Kurt's boyfriend on Glee?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
He's a lead character in this movie. Well, and it's made by the same people that made Glee. So.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah,
very nice.
Which
very nice.
is amazing.
Yeah.
And that's my media. What have you been up to? Watching TV?
Been watching Agresico, which is actually pronounced. I found out Agrisco. I've still been watching that for lunchies. Really liking it. Oh, it's the U is like a silent, so it's Agrisco.
Oh, it's kind of like the P in baby.
Yes. So I've been watching that for lunchies. Finished season 2. I'm halfway through season 3. I'm really liking this show. It's so for any fur that has seen it, hopefully you'll agree with me. If not, that's fine. But like all the characters are, they've got their own personalities. They're all distinct. They're not like, they all run together. They're distinct characters. They're cute. They're amazing. The whole storyline is actually going really great, and I'm really liking this show. I'm glad they've been renewed for season 5. So any fur that hasn't seen it yet, please go see it. And of course, I have to shout out because the voice of Haida Bendiskin, we had him on the show a little while ago, and that was a lot of fun to talk to. Oh, and I happened to do, just the other day, I did a Twitter poll of your favorite character on Agritsuko. I put Resco, Haida, Washimi, and Fenico. Last time I checked, only 26 furs had voted, but Haida was at 75%.
Well, of course.
Yeah, I mean,
you gotta
Haida's pretty great. So, anyway, so
he's
I've been
a
watching
sexy little character.
What's that?
He's a sexy little character.
He is.
Yeah, he's very cute.
He is actually. Oh, so something talked about last week that we started and have continued. So we started like a week and a half ago watching. Do you remember Degrassi Junior High?
Yep.
So this isn't Degrassi Junior High, but this is the high school edition. So this ended in 2017, I guess. And there's 4 seasons, and we finished season 3 and we started season 4. And so we've been watching that. And it's cool. It's actually good. I like it. And then
nice.
So we watched the first episode, the show Community.
Yes.
Yeah.
With Chevy Chase.
That before. With Chevy Chase. Talked about that before. We started the first episode of the newest season of Community. From the very first 5 seconds, me and my honey looked at each other and we're like, this isn't going to, nope. We did watch the first episode. We got through the first episode, but there are no more episodes that we'll be watching.
Oh, right. Well, so it was a lead balloon is what you're saying.
It was a lead balloon. I mean, it's for some people. It's, but it's not. No, it's gone downhill in our opinion. And we noticed, or at least I noticed, the ending, how the ending of shows, they have like a big insignia of the creators or whatever, whoever made the show. I noticed that their ending insignia is the same as the one from Happy Endings.
Okay.
And if you remember...
So it's the same production company.
It's the same production company, which leads me... And if you remember me talking about, we watched season 3 and we're like, wow, season 3 was really bad at Happy Endings. They really did a bad job with that. And so I guess I'm not surprised that, the new season of Community isn't going that great because, well, it's the same production company.
yeah, they become formulaic and they do their thing, and it's like
and then exactly. It's kind of the same thing over, and it's not a good thing that they're doing over and over. It's,
right, yeah.
And we watched a movie from 2021 called Voyagers. Have you heard of this movie?
Oh, it sounds familiar.
Yeah, I think it had been advertised at some point recently, obviously, because 2021. It's about it's about an hour and a half long. It is, but it's about Earth is like as a planet, it's dying, and so they need to find another planet to inhabit. And they find another planet, but the planet is 86 years away. It's an 86-year voyage, and so they actually get. It's
not like a 3-hour tour.
A 3-hour tour.
It's not a 3-hour tour at all. Let me tell you. But so they actually have children like made to go on this journey and everything like this.
Yes.
That's actually, it starts out that way. And so then it's an hour and a half movie of, you've talked about in the past, movies that you've seen where at the end you're like, that's an hour and a half of my life I will never get back. You've remember.
Is this one of those movies?
This is like on the A tier list of one of these movies.
Oh God. Okay. All right.
So there's a point in the middle at which it's like, okay, there's like kind of excitement happening, I guess. But in the end, it's an hour and a half of the... So at the end of the movie, when it ended, which my honey fell asleep in the middle of for about 20 minutes. So that was great. That was productive for him. He got a little nap. But at the very end, he was so mad with how it... No, literally, he was so mad with how it ended. He's like, that's the ending? I spent an hour and a half of my life watching for that? It's like...
Well, no, you spent an hour and 10 minutes.
And exactly. I spent an hour and 10 minutes of my life and I'm like, no, you got a nap. And it's like, okay, well, there's that. But he was so mad with...
Did he write a strongly worded letter to the production company?
I think he did. Yeah, no, so
they're getting quite an email from me. Click, 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 click.
Yeah. So it wasn't the best thing on earth.
Well,
but we did it. It happens.
Yeah.
So we did that.
Those are the worst movies. If you think they're really good and you go to the actual movie theater to watch them, and you spend all that money, and then you walk out like, "Can I get a refund?"
And they're like,
"Nope, nope, sorry, no,
sorry."
No.
Like, yay, Netflix.
Right?
But I mean. But literally, it was one of those stories where it's an hour and a half hour long, but they could have literally told the story in like 10 minutes.
Well, it's not much of a movie for 10
anything.
minutes. No, well, I mean, that's a TikTok short.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. They could have put this on TikTok, but no, they didn't. And so I don't know. I mean, there's furs out there that like these kind of slow-moving, anticlimactic movies.
Yeah.
And if you're one of those furs, check out Voyagers from 2021. If you
because
don't...
it's right up your alley.
It's right up your alley. If you don't like that type of thing, don't do it.
Right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I have one more. So that's what we've been watching, but I have a media thing.
Okay.
And
let me hear it.
Okay.
Let me hear it.
So try it. You're at a computer, so try this. Google Furry Convention.
Oh, I'm going to Google something right now? Okay, let me get
Furry Convention.
Let me get the Googler up and running. It says it's running. Why is it running? Oh, because the recording studio is on part of the Google. Okay. Record. What am I Googling?
Furry Convention.
Furry Convention. TION. Not Furry Convention Portland, but Furry Convention. Okay.
Just Furry Convention.
Uh-huh.
And what do you see?
Look, you pop up.
Yes, I do.
The very first thing.
Very first image.
Wow.
You don't even have to do an image search. So every fur out there, just Google. Don't even image search. Just Google Furry Convention. 2 words.
Wow.
And there's me.
There's you. And who are those on either side of you?
So on the, I think, if you're looking at it on the left, the links, that's Sochi, who is
Sochi?
brethren of mine. And on the right is Kev Shepard, which I think a lot of furs know.
Look at that.
And there I am.
And it says right off the bat, a furry convention is a formal gathering of members of the furry fandom, people who are interested in the concept of fictional, non-human animal characters with human characteristics.
Apparently I'm one of those because there's a picture of me right there. And I think that was taken at TFF 2020 or 19. One of the recent
look at the picture.
TFFs.
Centraltrack.com. Yeah, that's not a con I was at. So yeah. It says I attended the biggest furry convention in Texas. Central Track is what it says. So yeah, that's what it was.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know how that happened, but there it is.
Well, there you go. So,
and my hubby had his friend in Seattle try Googling that, and it came up for him.
All right. I'm going to skip over. We're going long again. I'm going to skip over our next segment. I'm going to go right into furries in the news.
What is going on with my life? Bring it in. Let's bring it in with me. Kitty and the fluff. Kitty and the fluff. Kitty and the kitty and the kitty and the fluff. Furries in the news. Furries in the news. Furries in the furries and the furries in the news. Bark. We've got our 5th verse.
A 5th verse.
The furries in the news. So the 4th was, what was the 4th one? Oh,
I don't know.
You came up with the great 4th one.
Oh no! Wallabies in a sock.
Wallabies in a sock.
Wallaby in a sock. Wallaby in a sock. Wallaby in a sock. Wallaby in a sock. Yeah. All right. So furries in the news. No, I'm not sure. This is a serious thing right off the bat. Not sure if anybody's. The bat. Oh, okay. I'm trying to be serious, and here you are making fun about bats.
Sorry. I can't help it.
I know.
Wallaby sock.
Wallaby sock. All right. Not sure if you saw this in the news about the furry who shot folks at the rally in Portland.
I saw a headline. I haven't read about it. I saw a headline, though.
Yeah. So he was a radical furry, a little bit on the fringe of the fandom. He really didn't attend a lot of stuff, but he was awesomely terrible in a lot of the fur chats and was talking about threatening everybody. And in fact, one of his posts was that he was going to come to Texas and make people suffer during TFF.
Well.
Yeah, not so great. And it's terrible because he shot some people. He killed a person. And, so it's real world violence. He transferred his online violence to real world violence. So that brings up an important point. If, dear listeners, you see or hear a furry being radical and threatening violence, report it. Even if, like in the case of this is Polybun, that was his name, the Polybun shooting, the police do nothing, which they didn't. He's been reported dozens of times. I researched this out quite a bit. He's been reported in multiple states for advocating violence against other furries.
Oh, wow.
And the police have done nothing. However, if you report it, it goes a long way for our private cons and our private con chairman and people to ban people from the cons.
Be cognizant.
So, be cognizant, that's a big word, of the furs that are mean. And it's senseless. It's very senseless, but it's a senseless world right now. The whole world is topsy-turvy. Who only knows what's going to go on anymore, but,
Well, and that reminds me, do you know of something important that Eddie Eagle has said? Do you know what Eddie Eagle says?
What does Eddie Eagle say?
Eddie Eagle says, if you see a furry, stop, don't touch, leave the area, tell an adult.
Okay.
That's what Eddie Eagle says.
But that's not true of all furries. I mean, 99.9% of furries are fun-loving, happy, wonderful people, wonderful furs. The outliers like this just really give a whole. And the problem is all the good stuff that we do in the furry world rarely get reported. I mean, lately that library thing has been great. I mean, they've raised over $100,000 and they've bolstered that budget tremendously from furries donating to them. But unfortunately, the fringe people like this get all the attention, and it just pops up in everybody's news feed. It's just terrible.
That's why the media, that's what the media latches onto, and that's why all the normies out there think we're so horrible. But anyway.
Right, because that's all they ever hear about is the terrible stuff. Do you know what NEWS stands for? It's an acronym. Did you know that?
I did not know that, but let me guess. New Educational Weekly Stupidity?
Well, that's what it would mean today, yes.
Yeah, okay.
But it stands for Notable Events, Weathers, and Sport.
I might have actually heard that somewhere. Yeah, I think I heard that somewhere.
Yeah.
And by the way, the Eddie Eagle thing, it's it's a meme, of course, adapted from an NRA.
Oh, okay.
So suppose the original is if you see a gun... But
tell an adult.
Gotcha. Anyway.
So I know that you guys talked about the Good Furry Awards, but it does warrant another mentioning. The nominations close March 31st, 2022.
It moved up, right? Yeah, I saw you. It was April, at the end of April, like you put, but it's been moved up a month.
Really?
Yeah.
Because when I put that in there, I actually looked at the website when I put that in there.
It's really recent that it's changed. It's on the website now that it's changed.
It must have changed in the last hour because that's when I wrote that.
Really?
Yeah. I looked at that like an hour before we started recording.
Interesting.
So it must have changed in between.
I wonder if something changed because when Grubbs was on last week, he said that. So.
Oh, well, on the website, it still says it closes at the end of April. Anyway, as you said, the winners will be announced at BLFC in June. So go to askpapabear.com, good-furry-award.html and nominate a good furry.
Yay. Now, let me
if you'd like to nominate a good furry, then do so by going to that website. I'm killing time while Taebyn is looking something up.
No, it's. I want. You're doing a good job of it.
I'm glamping as he does that. Yes.
Update on February 14th. The nomination period has been shortened a month and will end on March 31st, with voting to occur in April. So you can, to the end of next month, you can nominate, and then voting will occur in April. And Mr. Barely, go to the nominee list.
Go to the nominee list. Are we on it? Oh, yeah. Well, how exciting.
I mean,
well,
but
you're on it, aren't you?
Maybe.
I'll check it out later. Of course you are, because you're a good furry. I
don't know. I'm just a pup.
So I understand, if I understand this correctly, we are going to actually be broadcasting live from BLFC, the Good Furry Awards. You and I, as hosts of BFFT.
That's right.
Correct?
Yeah. I, as far as I know, I mean, well, you told me, so I guess we are.
Yeah, I mean, we've inked the deal with Ask Papa Bear, so,
It's been inked.
It's been inked. So, I was on Flayra today, and I saw this interesting article about a book from Star Trek Discovery.
Oh.
Now, you know that I am a Trekker.
Yes.
And I do enjoy Star Trek. I like all Star Trek stuff. I'm not a Trekkie. I don't dress up in the uniforms and stuff when I go to conventions, but I'm a Trekker. There's a difference.
Ooh.
There is a book written from the perspective of a cat in Star Trek Discovery. Yes.
Really?
The cat's name is Grudge, and it's a tangential character, if you will.
You can't really hold Star one Trek. To that.
No,
he holds a
grudge.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So the cat is a very strange breed of cat that's like larger than most breeds of cats. It's like a 30-pound cat. It's huge.
Oh.
Yeah. And so this book is all about this cat's take on being in Star Trek and everything that it does, which is kind of funny. And the author on Flavor, Rod O'Reilly, says, and I'm going to quote from his article, "Looks like we've been missing out on the really important parts of Star Trek Discovery. To wit, sharper than the claw and more stunning than a phaser blast. The Book of Grudges, Prime Directive, features her take on everything from space travel to the proper care and training of an array of alien species. Star Trek-inspired quotes and haiku meditations on Grudge's most favorite things, including napping and people, as long as they're far enough away.
Oh, that's
Make
fun.
no mistake, Cleveland Book's massive and massively cool cat, Grudge, is no mundane mouser. This taciturn tabby is, in fact, a queen. She knows it, and everybody aboard the Discovery knows it, too. Though some realize it's just a bit too late." Star Trek, The Book of Grudge by Rob Perlman is available now in hardcover from Penguin and Random House. Now, I have to say, as soon as I saw this article, I ordered the book.
I would hope so. That's awesome.
It's Amazon's going to deliver it tomorrow. I will have this book in my hand tomorrow.
I'm going to have to. No, that's totally awesome. I'm going to have to do that too. It's awesome.
So it was very cute. It was very. I'm looking forward to reading it. So
nice.
Now, the furry fandom seems to be in turmoil. I don't know if you've noticed this or not. Yeah.
There's a horrible pun brewing right there. I'll get there. I'll let you
a horrible
pun.
Work on it. Is it a second level pun? Yeah, but anyway.
No, it's not even. It's going to be just stupid. I'll work on it though.
All right. Well, you work on it. So, of course, Corgi Events is going to disband.
Oh, like they're just going away now.
They're going away. Going to be totally gone. Poof.
Poof.
So, poof. So, big cons like Denver, gone. Sin City Mercon, gone.
I was hoping to get to Denver one day.
Yep. Aquifer, gone. All those cons, they do 5 furry cons and 2 brony conventions. All gone.
Yeah.
So that was just announced a couple of days ago on February 15th. So Corgi Events, a for-profit organization that operated 5 furry cons and 2 brony conventions, is going to be disbanded. And they made that announcement on February 12th. This follows a series of events from malfeasance concerning that started with the unusual email sent out to their dealer's den mailing list. And they had some problems. So they've just been, it's just kind of sad because, if you remember the movie, what was the movie that they put out about furries not too long ago that we were going to watch and never reviewed?
Oh,
we talked about
the one by Ash Coyote.
Yeah. And they talked with the director of Corgi events and how they did everything.
Ah, that's right. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's so sad, but it's gone. It's going to be gone. So it's,
yeah. And they've been doing this for a long time.
Yeah. It's a big group. So unfortunately, hopefully somebody will step forward and pick up some of these events. Now, you had mentioned a couple of weeks ago that you thought Corgi events hosted BLFC, but they don't.
Right.
Yeah. But
they did. Yeah. And so I researched it out, and the Path today last week, I talked about this again, and Path knew all about everything Corgi events does and everything, of course.
Right.
But yeah, they do Denver, Aquatifur, you mentioned Pony Cider Fest, and Winnie City Pony. Those would be the pony cons that you mentioned. Yeah, that's it. I was really hoping to get to Denver someday, but I guess I won't.
Yeah, well, unless somebody else steps forward to put it together.
Yeah.
So. Hi, Denver people. Get together. Get it together. Get it together.
Oh, my God.
All right. So, in a few months, BLFC.
Oh, wait, I have some furries in the news, too. I have
you
like
have
a lot.
Some furries in the news?
I actually have a lot of furries in the news.
Well, then get to it there, Mr. Taebyn.
We've already covered one of them. One of them I had was the Good Furry Award nomination, so go ahead and do that. It's really great, recognizing all the great furs that we have in the fandom. We just want to recognize, all the great things that furs do. But also we've talked about this before, but a reminder that Ursa Major Awards, the nominations are now closed, but voting are taking place next month in March, or I guess now in March, because we're in March. So you can go to ursamajораwards.org and see all the wonderful stuff that's being nominated. Our Pupcast here is actually nominated, so vote for us. We're in the magazine category. And I did write them, because if you remember, they had it totally wrong. They said it's like hosted by me, and they spelled your name wrong too. Like the name, they spelled Babearely Furcasting. It's like,
yeah.
So I actually did write them. I haven't heard anything back, but I did write them to try and correct all of that. We'll see if they do.
Well, you had Grubbs on the show last week? Why didn't he correct it when you told him then? Did you tell him then?
He doesn't do the Ursa Majors.
Oh, I'm sorry, the Ursa Majors. Sorry.
Yeah, Ursa Majors, yeah. So anyway, yeah, Ursa Majors, you can do that. So yeah, there's like a lot of things going on as far as awards and nominations. So there's Good Furry, there's Ursa Major Awards. There is, and so thanks to Grubbs Grizzly for alerting me to 2 other literary awards that are out there. Yeah, so thanks to that, and I told him, I said, well, I'll mention it on the show. There is the Leo Literary Awards from furrybookrareview.com. And the Leo Awards goal is to highlight exceptional works of literature in the furry fandom. The award will be given to those whose works pass a benchmark score by our judges. This means that there will not be one singular quote-unquote best work in each category. There are several different categories. Nominations for last year for 2021 are now closed, but you can go to furrybooksreview.com/leo-literary-award to see past winners and the current nominees, and of course when they announce the winners. So there's that, and then there's also, again thanks to Grubbs for letting me know about this, the Kayita Award, spelled actually Coyotl Award. It was founded in 2020 by Christina Bunny Tracer as a means for the Furry Writers Guild to recognize and further the reach of quality anthropomorphic literature. Each year, the Furry Writers Guild members may nominate and vote for the best short story, best novella, best novel, and best anthology from the previous year. And so they have some questions that are on their FAQ, like can you submit work and be nominated if you're not a member of the Furry Writers Guild? And yes, you can. If you're self-published, can you be nominated? Yes, you can. I published my story on Fur Affinity, things like that. Is that eligible? Unfortunately not. But they also say, I published my work through Patreon. Is that eligible? And they say, we're not sure yet. They're working on it.
We're not sure. Okay, good.
Anyway, so you can go to thatwordawards.com. So that's COYOTLAWARDS.com to nominate. Nominations are open right now. And you can also see previous winners. And they have an other works category in which you can nominate some podcasts.
Well,
so there you go.
There you go.
And so that is my Furries in the News for the week.
Nice. Awesome. Possum.
Indeed.
All right. So upcoming events, of course, BLFC, as most furs know, they had a little problem with their website the past couple of days. You couldn't get registered right away. I mean, Rain got registered within the first 5 minutes of it being open, and then everything closed down.
Then like everyone
crazy.
tried to register at the same time. And I remember the announcement said, to help you have the best experience you can in registering, we're closing down the site for now, but tomorrow, try again.
Yeah, and it wasn't open until like late. I mean, they were closed for like 36 hours. So
yeah.
But as of today, I am registered.
Yay.
To go to BLFC. Hooray. I'm in the room lottery. So it's I always love that term. It's like the room lottery. It's like, here's your room. You have a sleeping bag and a bathtub. You win the lottery.
You win the lottery. And here's all the little, not the mega balls, but the mega beds floating around. It's to see if you win the lottery.
Yes. Yep. Like flying around.
Yeah.
But, and of course, you read a lot of these coming up events, but some of these events are actually happening today as we are being broadcast.
Ooh, can I read them again? Because I had fun reading through them last time.
Well, go right ahead.
Okay,
you do it.
I'll start slow. This weekend, there's Furry Ski Weekend 2022 in Frisco, Colorado. There's Vancouver 2022 in British Columbia, Canada. There's furthermore March 4th through 6th in Arlington, Virginia. And then we're doing so much stuff. We're doing GDCon in Gdansk, Poland, Blue Ridge Fur Fair and I don't know what that word that is, but in North Carolina, we're doing Fur Out West in Scarborough, West Australia. We're doing TFF, oh my cow, in Dallas, Texas, why I can't talk for Fernal Equinox in Ontario, Canada, and Furnexion in Labrador, Monterey, Newfoundland, and Labrador. Yeah, Mexico. Okay, so we're doing that.
That was a very strange address. Monterey, Newfoundland, and Labrador in Mexico. Are they having 3 locations at the same time?
I wonder about that too. I wonder if it's if it's one of those things, where some people live on like the time zone
border
things or borders. So I that's the only thing I could figure out is that's what that is. Yeah. Anyway, that's what that is.
And of course, sad news. Poor Spokane Throw.
They're trying, but can't quite.
They're trying so hard. Yeah. And they hope to return in 2023, but we hope if they find a venue. That's the thing. They can't find a venue for some reason. Yeah. So
no, I think I was talking to Lemnius, Spokane Throw chair for any that doesn't know. I was talking to him. He's like, they've just got all the hotels. They're just all filled up around the particular time they're shooting for that they want to do it. Mm-hmm. And, this is the time. You can't just say, oh, it's the week before the con. Let's find a hotel. You got it. So
right.
I totally understand why they're canceling this far in advance because these things take so much work.
Oh, yes, definitely.
But they're trying. They want to. And we're both looking forward to going back, apparently, hopefully in 2023.
Hopefully, 2023. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
Fluff speed to you, Lemnius. We're rooting for you. Want you to do it. We want to see you again.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. That finishes up all the upcoming events. Do you have math for us this week?
I do.
Okay. Well,
and speaking of Lemnius, this is indirectly on the request of Lemnius to talk about this.
Oh. Okay.
And I think it's something we've talked about. I talked about it in math before at one point, but I couldn't find where. It's about the liar's paradox.
Oh, yes. Yes.
talks about it. So I'm going to say it again, but also go on and say some variants and to say a little bit more, I think, than I probably did last time. So the liar's paradox actually goes back to 600 BC. So this has been going on for a long time.
Long time. Liars have been around for a long time.
They've been lying around. No, they never get up. They just,
They play a lyre once in a while.
Once in a while.
The instrument, the lyre.
Oh, yeah. So anyway.
I digress. We've got off the rails once again.
The liar's paradox goes, I say, I am lying. And then the question then is that a true statement or not? For the purposes of a few variants, I'm going to say an equivalent paradox is to have a sentence that says, this sentence is a lie. Now, this is a paradox because is that sentence a lie or is it true? Well, if the sentence is indeed a lie, then the sentence is actually telling the truth because that's what the sentence is. The sentence says,
yes,
the sentence is a lie.
A lie.
And so it's telling the truth.
The truth.
But then that means it can't, so the sentence cannot actually be a lie because it's telling the truth.
Right. Yes. That is very paradoxical.
And so then you say, well, if it can't be indeed a lie, it must be telling the truth. So it's not a lie. If the sentence is actually not a lie, then it's actually telling the truth that it is a lie, contradicting the assumption that it's not a lie. So it can't be that either.
Oh, now my head hurts.
Yeah, no, it's great. And so there's variance. Yes. We're not done. There's variance.
Oh, there's variance. Okay.
You can kind of split it into more than one statement. So you can turn this into maybe two statements. So the first statement is, the following statement is true. The second statement is, the preceding statement is false. So if the first statement is true, then the first statement says that the following statement is true. So if that's true, that means that the preceding statement is false. But then that means that the previous statement cannot possibly be true. And it goes round and round, and total paradox. Similarly, if you Google this, there's a nice fun picture of, there's two buttons. One is red and one is blue. The red button says the blue button is true, and the blue button says the red button is false. And it's just like this.
Yes.
What we just did.
Uh-huh.
You can actually break this up into many sentences. So if you have an odd number of statements that say the next statement is false, basically, it's circular. So for example, and this has to be an odd number of sentences. So say the first statement is, the second statement is false. The second statement says, the third statement is false. The third statement says, the first statement is false.
Oh, God.
So it just,
okay.
You get a bunch of circular. It hurts and fun to think about.
It hurts. Yes.
So the liar's paradox is actually occasionally used in fiction to shut down artificial intelligence, who are presented as being unable to, they can't process the actual sentence. For example, in Star Trek, the original series, the episode I, Mud, the liar paradox is used by Captain Kirk and Harry Mudd to confuse and ultimately disable an android that were holding them captive.
Yes, I remember that episode.
Yeah. Yep. Very, very cool. Very cool. Also, Doctor Who, in the 1973 Doctor Who series, the episode The Green Death, the Doctor temporarily stumps the insane computer boss by asking, if I were to tell you, so this relates to the two-sentence thing I talked about. Right. If I were to tell you the next thing I said were true, but that the last thing I said was a lie, would you believe me? And the computer tries to figure it out, but cannot, and eventually decides that the question is irrelevant and summons security.
Oh, well, there you go. The question is irrelevant, yes.
Summon security. Can you please take care of this?
Take care of this guy.
Also in Douglas Adams' Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which we all know and love, of course.
I love that, yeah.
Oh, my cow. Chapter 21 describes a solitary old man inhabiting a small asteroid in the spatial coordinates where it should have been a whole planet dedicated to a certain type of life form. This old man repeatedly claimed that nothing was true, though later he was found to actually be lying. So that's awesome. And also this comes up in songs and in games like Portal 2 even. So if you Google and go to the Wikipedia about liar's paradox, you can see a lot of this stuff. So another variant is that a man by the name of Bob says that all men are liars. And the question then is Bob telling the truth? And it's
because
the whole paradox
he's a man. Yes.
Yeah,
yes.
Exactly.
Right.
So does that.
Right.
Now, if you don't worry about the paradox, you can still have fun little puzzles, which you can now, I'll tell you this puzzle and see if you can figure it out. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready.
Again, not thinking about the paradox. It's an actual, it's a riddle. See if you can figure it out.
All right.
So at a party, there were only liars. So that's, of course, where the paradox thing comes in. But
yes.
The first liar says, we are more than 12. The second says, we are an even number. The third says, the word denoting our number consists of less than 6 letters. How many liars were at the party? So let me remind you of the three clues. The first liar says, we are more than 12. The second says, we are an even number. And the third says, the word denoting our number consists of less than 6 letters. How many liars were at the
party? As I hear the music from Jeopardy playing in my head,
and now
I will say it doesn't matter because they're all liars. Because
that's the key, is that they are all liars.
They're all liars. So even if they say there's more than 12, that doesn't necessarily mean they're more than 12. Because if I say they're more than 12, then that person's not a liar anymore. So they could be less than 12.
Not only could, but so I should say now, any forever that's listening that wants to figure out, because I'm going to give the answer now and how it works. So if you want to take more time to figure it out, pause the recording, pause these, and then come back.
Work it out and come back and listen to the answer. Yes.
So push pause, and I tell you the solution. Now, but you're exactly right. The key is that they are all liars, which means the 3 things they said were not the truth. So the first liar said that we're more than 12. So that's not true, which means that's not true. Less
could
than
be more,
or
could be
equal
less.
to 12. Right.
Yes. Yeah.
The second one said that we're an even number. So that's not true, which means it's an odd number. So now we're looking for an odd number less than or equal to 12. Well, 12 is not 12. An odd number, so less than 12. And then the third said the word denoting our number consists of less than 6 letters. So that, since he's a liar, that means that there has to be more than 6 letters.
Yes.
So we're looking for an odd number less than 12 whose there's letters are more than 6 letters. The only such number is 11. So there are 11 people at the party.
But that's less than 6 letters.
It has to be. It has to be more, because the third one said that the number of letters is less than 6. So he's a liar. So there has to be more than 6 letters.
More than 6. Oh, but ELVEN is only 5 letters.
ELEVEN.
EVEN, 6 letters. Okay.
It actually took me I was trying to count letters. No, I understand.
Right.
It's in the same.
I spelled Elvin, not 11. Sorry.
You did.
Sorry. I spelled Elvin, ELVEN. That was a.
You totally went to Lord of the Rings right there for a second,
yes.
and we're back now. Anyway, so I thought that was a fun little puzzle that, not really, but kind of related to Lars' paradox, and that is my math for the week.
Well, before we get to our closing, I would like to play a little trivia with you.
Okay. Puppy logic.
Do you have your thinking pup cap on?
My puppy cap is on.
All right. So I have some cards from 2 different trivia games because
we'll mix them up.
We're mixing them up. We have I should have known that and things they don't teach you in school. But some of the questions are stupid, so I didn't want to read them. So here we go. Very first question. Snowboarding and skateboarding, also skiing, freestyle BMX, and inline skating was the answer to the question, which I should not have read first. So I will not give you the question. Unless you want to be like Jeopardy and say, what is the question?
Yes, I want to, Alex, I would like to say, or whoever the Jeopardy person is now, I would like to say the answer is, what are things you can do that are fun and scary at the same time?
Well, no, the question would have been, in which sports do you compete in a half pipe?
Okay, good.
There you go. All right. Let's see. What prize can be regarded as the television's equivalent to the Oscars?
Emmy.
Absolutely correct. That is right. Circle gets the square.
Oh my
All right.
God.
Do you know what neurological disorder involves falling asleep involuntarily and randomly throughout the day?
It's not necrophobia.
No, that's the fear of dead people.
It is. This is narcolepsy. I can't pronounce it.
Narcolepsy. I'll give you half a point. I'll give you half a point for that.
Okay,
yes,
good.
Indeed. All right.
Necrophobia. It's not necrophobia.
It's not fear of dead people. So
that's not when you fall asleep spontaneously.
What is the clothing worn by surgeons and other medical professions called?
Scrubs.
Yeah, absolutely correct.
How do I know these things? What's going on?
I don't know. I don't
even have to use puppy logic so far.
I know. So here's the one you're going to have to use puppy logic for.
Oh, okay.
What should you do if you are welcomed with a round of applause in China?
Bow. Okay, so that's my first order, but puppy logic says, since I'm a pup, I sometimes go bow wow. So when you bow, that's wow that you did that.
Wow.
And so then it's rough to be in that situation. And then since it's so rough, you run off to the forest to find the bark and
on the trees, the bark on the trees.
And then you see so the answer is, so ask the question again.
So what should you do if you are welcomed with a round of applause in China?
Trees.
Well, the answer is that you should reciprocate by clapping back for them.
Okay. That was not, I did not do good on that.
You did not do good, no. Does hair, this is a true or false, this is a yes or no question. Does hair grow back faster if you shave it?
No.
You are correct, it does not.
I think, yeah, I mean, I think that's like a rumor that it does, but it's not a true thing.
Okay. So your last question.
Okay. What am I at, 4 out of 5?
Yep. I mean, you're pretty good.
I am fortified with 4 out of 5.
You are fortified. Yes. All right. How many pounds of pasta does the average Italian person eat in 1 year?
Well, puppy logic says, if you're Italian, you're leaning on the cow that is dragging their udders because they have dragon milk.
Okay.
And that has to do with the amount of pasta, because if you're dragon milk, then you have 102.5 gold bricks that you're connect with anything, but you're dragging it. And so the answer is pup.
Oh, well, it was a number that we were looking for, and the number was 55.
Oh, and
so
that's
the average.
Pup is not a number, apparently. Okay.
The pup is not a number, but the average Italian eats 55 pounds of pasta a year. That's a lot of pasta.
Good to know. That is a lot of pasta.
That's a lot of pasta.
Don't you know, in the marsupial, you got to eat the pasta with...
In marsupials?
In marsupials with the cream dressing and the koala bear in your face. The wallaby has a suck.
The wallaby. The wallaby is the
emphasis
on the wrong syllable. That's what it is to be,
a wallaby.
The wallaby.
What is going on? I don't know.
Why are we making a bad Italian accent? It's very bad. It's like, all right. I think it's time we shut this down.
Doing? Okay, it's a show. We should do that.
I think it's time we shut this show down. Boy, we are way off the rails. It seems like just yesterday we started this little podcast, and here we are coming close to the end of season 2 in just
almost
7 more weeks.
Season 3. Almost, yeah.
We will be on season 3. Wow, it's amazing. But today we had fun. We had a good time today.
And by the way, all you first, in case you didn't know, a season here in the podcast is not like, 12 episodes is a season. No, it's like a year. It's an entire year.
52 episodes.
We've been doing this every week. Well,
every week.
In 7 weeks.
For almost 2 years. Yeah.
For 2 years. Wow, what's wrong with us? We're crazy.
What's wrong with us? We're insane. Yeah. Our husbands look at us crazily now. It's like, oh, you're doing that thing again? Yes.
I know. I don't even know why I'm still married. It's like I'm very, very grateful that I still have a hubby.
Yeah. We had fun today. We come to the end of the episode. Remember to support our show through your generous donations or sharing with friends, furs, or enemies.
Either way works. Or frenemies even.
Or frenemies, yes. Don't forget we have merch on bonfire.com. Our super special AD episode, which stands for Astonishingly Drunk, is coming out soon. We're going to be recording that. We have put it out to the world. We can have up to 9 furs joining us for this.
That's amazing. Squadcast actually hosts that many. Wow.
Yep. We can host 9 furs, and we have 5 guaranteed at this point.
Nice.
And we're going to log in on March 12th, and we're going to have drinks as we discuss progressively more complicated topics.
I love that you used the complicated there. I'm really so got some points right there for using that.
The more that we drink, the topic conversations should become extremely hilarious. We're definitely going to be PG-13 on that, so be careful if you are under the age of 21. This might not be for you to listen to, but just keep that in mind, folks. We're not going to be editing things. It's going to be broadcast as we recorded it.
Which is
no editing.
Which is crazy because we do. I mean, if you first didn't know, we do edit a lot of the show, and so I'm looking forward to seeing how it goes. Yeah, that's exciting. That's great.
Yep, it should be fun. We might have Taebyn pop in because Taebyn doesn't drink. Taebyn is a pure as the driven snow pup.
Purebred.
Purebred, but he may pop in just to give us a hard time for being intoxicated and recording an episode. But who knows? That episode will definitely be PG-13 and should be hilarious. Anyway, Taebyn, you're going to be gone next week. So everybody be sure to join me with our special guest host, DJ Keynes, who's a former associate editor of our little show. And he's going to sit in with me and we're going to do our little shtick. He's going to talk about being a puppy in the pup play world.
Nice.
Which is different than the kind of puppy that you are, Taebyn. So there's a difference. It's a different kind of puppy. Yeah.
He's a different pup. Yeah.
So if you're interested in pup play and puppies, tune in next week and you'll hear all about that. And Taebyn,
interesting.
With that, I say Moobarkfluff, stay furry. Taebyn, take us out, take us home, take us to the end.
I take you to things. I take you to the restaurant. I take you to the end. I take you to the ends of the universe where the liars are paradoxically dachshunds. Who would have thunk it?
They're not there.
They're not there.
They told you they were there, but they weren't.
They told you those dachshunds, those tricky dachshunds, I tell you.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, so as I always say, I mean it all the time. Thank you so much for listening to our little thing that we do. You support us so much just by listening. We hope you entertain you. We hope we help your drive to work every day if that's when you listen to us, whatever. So thank you so much. Yeah. Or your drive home or your drive home. Thanks for supporting us just by doing that. If you help us financially on Ko-Fi and Patreon, or via merch, like Barely said, this is great. It means a lot to us. Nominate us for things like I don't know, Good Furry Award and the Ursa Major Award or something, or things. That'd be great. Anyway. But yes, thank you so much. And that's all I'll say. Believe it or not, I think I'm going to just try and stop there and say thank you much.
Good for you.
I'm not stopping. Why aren't I stopping? We hug you tight with pausies. See you at a con. Okay, I'm going to do it. Thank you so much. Love you. Hug you tight with pausies. Until next week, we bark at you. Bark, bark. Moobarkfluff.
Barely Furcasting is an Injured Nerve studio production, and is found on all major podcast platforms, or can be heard directly at barelyfurcasting.com. The opinions expressed here are those of the hosts and their guests, and no commercial compensation was granted. The Furcast is produced, recorded and directed by me, Barely Normal, aka Mike Began, and is edited by myself and our associate editor Rain Raccoon. Opening and closing theme music as well as some interstitial music was created for Injured Nerves Productions for the use on the podcast by Reg Day with Damian Tanuki. If you would like to hear more music by Reg Day, you can search for Tweezerbeak on Bandcamp or Hoop Loop Tunes on SoundCloud. Other interstitial and background music by Shane Ivers through silvermansound.com, Gator Tots on soundcloud.com, and the YouTube Free Use Library. If you would like to send us a message, you can do so via email at barelyfurcasting@gmail.com or on our Telegram chat at BFFTchat, on Twitter, on our Facebook page, or on the barelyfurcasting.com webpage. You can help support the show through donations at kofi.com/barelyfurcasting or through Patreon at patreon.com/barelyfurcasting. Thanks for listening. We hope you come back and listen next week.